Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they, them, cats, dogs, anything else that you identify as. What's up? Welcome to episode 52. It's a throwback. We get our minds right. Coming on strong already, young Chris. This is from like 12 years ago. Cheers to all who have no fears, to those that we find dear. Cheers. Make the city me the epitome of literally epiphanies, genius thoughts, Jesus walks, so let's walk with him divinely. You know the devil keeps reminding me at times ticking so silently. I told that prick to get off my dick, look to the sky and hit the weed. Blaze until I think I can't breathe. Let it sink in, drink a glass of water. Listen to the stories from the Godfather. Can't call it on, but it on his ex up. Turn your eyes to X, chest to a note. Wanna be this kid, let's let go. No, I don't think so. It makes sense. And if don't like that, then it can't be man. Leave your face flat, listen, man. Take that, I represent. Take that, I represent. Take that, I represent. My rhymes are equivalent to all the world's militants. Any less, I address. Failing makes little sense. I tend to overstress, but every move is calculated. Life is like chess. From the C on your coat shoes to the G on your guess. I'm sorry to say, but to me that means less. Yeah, I stay blessed. I try not to stay stressed, 'cause I got food in my belly. And I got soap so I ain't smelly. Hot water. Got a father who hit my mom, but he's the bomb. Now they're cool, they got a close bond, but they had to divorce and move on. Gotta work hard to eat and work hard to sleep. Got God on my side, but Lucifer's across from me. What's up with the fucking Lucifer? So that's really your name? And it wasn't like a Harley, it was a ninja. It was very interesting. I think my grandma made him like get rid of it. She was pissed off that he got it. I hope that sample doesn't get picked up, because I don't even know what that sample is. Let's see what's on the list. My name is Chris. Chaos. Or call me C4, 'cause I see way off into the future. Hopefully I don't have to motherfucking shoot ya. But if I do, it'll go through ya. Hallelujah. What it do, bruh? Coming at ya. Get your girl, 'cause I might come snatch ya. I ain't no predator, but I pray every day. And I slay when I rock these rhymes in every way. Yo, all right, let's see what Yoda's got to say. Random page. It says, boldly face up to new challenges. Interesting. And I say interesting because I'm recording this like before I even start back to work. So when you're reading this, I'm at work, but I'm having anxiety right now. It's an anxiety-filled time. I've done this for 8 summers, but for some reason I still get anxiety going back to work after I have a few weeks off. I guess plus this is like my son's second day of school, 8th grade. And it's just, I'm 32, and you know, the podcast is moving up, but I gotta stay faithful. I gotta keep working. I gotta be smarter about my money. I have small goals that I have to achieve to make the big goals. So anyway, like Yoda said, boldly face up to new challenges.
Something unexpected can line your path. You could be laid off, face a breakup, or suddenly encounter an imperial cruiser when you're smuggling a shipload of spice. Bro, they would smuggle spice. That's like the old days. There was wars fought over spice because Europe, they didn't have like all the spices that India and South America and everywhere else had. They had the plan. They eat spotted dick in England. They eat dry ass biscuits. No offense. I love England. I want to go there, you know. A surprise can be intimidating, but don't dump your cargo and run. Fleeing a setback almost never resolves it. Take control of your problems rather than letting them control you. And you won't end up as a wall decoration for a hut. And then the quote says, "You didn't think I was going to run, did you?" Han Solo. You can't run from it, man. You can't run from your problems because they just keep chasing you and they're going to catch up. You might as well face that shit head on. Boldly face new challenges. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna answer a couple questions this time too. I got my book ready. I already answered this one. Who was better? Yeah, okay, the Beatles. Ooh, what song would you say best sums you up? What song would you say best sums you up? It's gotta be a Kid Cudi song. It's a couple Kid Cudi songs. It's the one that he made with Kanye as Kids See Ghosts. Cudi Montage. Because there's on the hook, he's like, "Lord, shine your light on me, save me, please." And it hits, and the shit they talk about, it hits. That song, and then another Kid Cudi song, but this one is his solo. I forgot how it goes, because of the music. Hold on. It's like talking about the I need to smoke. That's just what I need to smoke. This is what you made, God. Not many I trust. I'm gonna find my own way, God. The thing I love, something like that. That song is and then maybe even there's so many good Cudi songs. It's hard to pick one. But I guess I make songs too. I got a song called Life Story. So I guess that sums up my life. Oh, it sums, but not me up. Maybe that new song, Dark Days, Bright Nights. I don't know. It's hard. I'm a musician. When you make a decision, do you stick to it or do you go back and forth? I think I stick. No, I go back and forth. I think I did this one though. Yeah, I did this one too. Which one of your friends do you think is a shit? All my friends are fucking nice. If you're not nice, you're not my friend, probably. We all have moments where we get agitated and shit because we're human, or we're chemicals and whatever, digital programming. I don't know. Because supposedly if you go deep, we're just zeros and ones, just like a program. Supposedly, I don't know. Yeah, all my friends are nice as fuck, man. But they'll kick your ass if they need to. What is one way you try to conquer your fears? What are my fears? I tried to shoot my shot at an incredible woman, and it was a miss, but I tried. Where is the most magical place on earth, in your opinion? Yo, y'all gonna think I'm a fool for this, but the backyard that I'm looking at right now is such a magical place. I have so many trees. I have plants. I have blue jays that come by. I have different kinds of cats that come by. Little possums, squirrels, all different kinds of butterflies. And then behind my fence is a pond. So then there's ducks and there's swans and there's fucking cranes and what are those things that carry the babies and shit? Storks. And Those trees, this tree that's like giving me shade right now, it's a beautiful tree. For sure. And that may sound silly, but it's the first thing that comes to my mind. Would you ever consider going back to school once you're over 50? Yeah, 50 is just another age. 50 is a new 40. What can someone learn from a baby boomer? Okay, you can learn a lot. You just have to open up your minds and listen without wanting to respond. Just absorb it. And once you absorb it, then you'll be able to be like, okay, I understand why you think like this. And then it might even change your perspective. It might just add and even if you don't argue with them, it'll add some knowledge. Like, okay, next time I know, so you do learn. Don't ignore the old people, because we're gonna get old, and the young people are gonna do that to us if we do that to them. If we do, you learn a lot from a baby boomer. What do you take too seriously? Myself, maybe. I used to take work too seriously. Sometimes I take the podcast too seriously. I take a lot of stuff too seriously sometimes, but it just takes for me to step back. But, sometimes I don't. Do you hold any special licenses or titles? If so, which? Nah, I was CPI trained for a little bit, but that's about it. That's to restrain or but it's to really know how to defend yourself like that, you gotta practice, man. I just went to one. I mean, I can defend myself, but there's certain ways that they treat you to not hurt the person. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a lot, it's pretty simple. How do you handle panhandlers? If I have extra food from work or something, like a snack that's packaged, I'll give it to a panhandler. If I got some change and I am not relying on that change to buy some food or something and put gas, I might give it to a handler. And it also depends, and I hate to judge by the character, but like, if the person looks like they can work, then they should work. Now I understand, like, there's like veterans, and I don't know if they're all really veterans, the ones that say they're veterans, but those I feel worse for them. But I mean, I don't care who it is, black, white, you won't see any Mexicans really, or Asians. But if I have it, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll at least give them like one of those weird little, like, those white people smiles, like that I did one time to a hot chick. Let's do it. Just saw blue jay. There's cardinals back there too, man. Woodpeckers. I seen a hummingbird back there one time. What upcoming life event are you excited about? Shit, I don't know. My next paycheck, so I can go to the eye doctor and try to get some new glasses. What do you need more of? Right now, what I need more of, there's 2 blue jays. There's 3 blue jays. They like eating the cat food. For some reason, like that cat. Oh, you can hear them. Yeah, that's blue jay right there, baby. It's like they're arguing. 2 of them are arguing. The other one was like, fuck this, I don't even want to eat here. And flew away. Yo, the blue jays, that's what's his name? Mordecai? There you go. Oh, there you go. Oh, how many are there? There's 4 fucking blue jays. Oh, one just made the other one go away. There's 2 bowls, you dumb fucks. So let's go for maybe they want to eat from the blue bowl because they're blue jays. Alright, eat some food. Yeah, he's eating it. He just said 1 to go. Well, Well, there is probably a cat over there that's watching them, so it's probably really risky. I have a video of this black cat that's like 6 years old that he was born in my backyard. That's also, there was cats born in my backyard. And I named one, because there was 4 kittens, and I've probably talked about this before. But the only ones that I still see, I see Leo constantly. And Raphael, I see him every once in a while. And I got a video of Raphael, and there was a squirrel trying to eat the fucking food. But then he's like, oh, fuck that. And he's a cool cat. He won't let me pet him. Leo lets me pet him. Leia won't let me pet. Leia is like younger than all of them. But they're like fucking 7 years old or some shit. Like they I think because my sister hooks them up with like healthy food, so they eat pretty good. You know, it ain't no dollar store bullshit. Cause that dollar store Walmart bullshit, man, it'll bloat them. It's not cute or healthy for those cats to be that fat. And I'm not fat shaming cats. It's just not healthy. What do you need more of? Oh yeah. So I couldn't pick what I need, what I want more of. What do I need more of? More water. I need more exercise. What's your favorite sport? I think I already did this one. I need to highlight them so I don't say them again. How tall is the tallest person you know? I think he's like 6'1" or 6'2". Yeah. Do you think the grass is greener on the other side or where you water it? Both sometimes. It just depends on the situation. You can water grass all you want, but you can also overwater it. And then you can water it and not get sun, and then it's still not going to turn green. There's a lot of different things that you have to do to maintain your grass. And it might be greener on the other side because maybe they're doing more work than you. And if it is, it doesn't mean you need to go to that side. It means you need to fix your shit. All right. Next thing on the agenda. Never been a pretender. I was going through my angel numbers, and this is one that I have not done yet. El número 999. And it's fitting that I saved 999 for the last of the triple numbers. I'll be moving on to the 1212s, and what else do I see a lot? 12. I wrote some down. 808 is one. Oh shit, it's 1111. It was just 1111 right there. Yeah, 808 is one that I see a lot, and 1212. So those will be the next two I'll do next couple weeks, but I'm not sure about after that. You know, the angels will present themselves and send me new numbers, and not I'll do other things. Because I was also thinking about doing little, like what it means to see animals, certain animals, what it means to see blue jays or a flock of ducks flying over your head, or a butterfly that goes around your face or something. It's really interesting. So anyway, the last of the triple digit angel numbers, 999, gathers 3 instances of this zenith level integer. The symbolism is strong here, rich with meaning. The cycle of life is turning, and the angels are in accord. An end to the old and a transformative new beginning is imminent. I forgot the light bulb went out. I gotta get a new light bulb for that. 3-fold 3, the primary integer, appears 3 times. Even from a first impression perspective, the cycles and synchronicities are in evidence. When the number 9, an angelic numeral that symbolizes universal love, is encountered often, then higher beings are at work. They're sending a message. Expect to experience an end to old life patterns when the number appears again and yet again. An ending is on its way. But this is simply the end of one act of life, not the whole story. A new chapter is on its way, and this fresh beginning will take a higher, more enlightened path. Perhaps an old karmic debt is paid off, or it's simply time to take flight and leave the safety of a familiar routine. Regardless of the reason, take that small first step on a larger journey. Take it with confidence and a feeling of joy. Universal cycles are mirrored by life cycles. For triple digit 9, closure is imminent and a new exciting future is on its way. Contemplate a life chapter filled with service, with altruism, and duty. If you constantly see this number, it is a sign that you should take time and get clear on your intentions and goals. Interesting. If you are thinking, how come you receive this angelic number if you don't have clear goals? Well, this is the sign you were looking for as well. Your spirit guides have noticed that you felt off track, and you are lost and not where you are meant to be. So they communicate with you through angel number 999. Take a deep breath. Be thankful for the guidance and start writing your goals down. Make a list of everything you want to accomplish and visualize yourself already achieving it in the near future. When you write down your goals as specific as possible, you're sending a clear intention into the universe. Think of it like this. The universe is like a big catalog, and you'll get whatever you clearly and exactly request. You have such high standards for yourself that you are often, this is another meaning you could be seeing number 999. You have such high standards for yourself that you are often disappointed when your results do not match your vision. It is time to give yourself some credit. You've accomplished more in a short period of time than most people ever will. And just think about it, you have. We have. When you see this number, remind yourself to focus on the present moment rather than dwell on the past. And a Bible scripture, like we talked about last week, that, let's not always be taken, but all right, look. Galatians 5:22-23 says that when you walk with the Holy Spirit, you receive 9 fruits. These include love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Sometimes we fail to notice God's grace in our lives because we are focused on putting out fires or trying to keep up with demands on our time. The next time you see 999, remember to look around you and be thankful for the gifts God has given you. Special thanks to RyanHart.org and thesecretofthetarot.com. All right, crystal of the week, Pyrite. Man, Pyrite, feeling out right. Looks like a fucking comet coming to Earth. Oh no. All right, Pyrite supports the ideal of perfect health and well-being, drawing on universal energies to activate the nourishing energies of the body. In healing it often gets fast results and can be beneficial in cases where no resolution seems possible. It is known for bringing out the cause of diseases for examination and is helpful in getting to the root of karmic and psychosomatic disease. Damn, according to Melody Hall, Megamont, and Gienger, Giengr. This mineral shields the body from environmental pollutants as well as contagious diseases. It may be useful in fighting colds, flu, and other viruses. Oh, sweet. Speaking of that, I need to take my vitamins today because I want to stay alive and alive and alive. Shout out to Nature's Way. Look at these delicious, but there's no gelatin. They're gummy, but there's no fucking gelatin. There's none of that. Because you know what gelatin is? It's fucking cartilage from a bunch of animals. That's what gummy bears are. And these are gummies, but they have no gluten, gelatin, soy, dairy, wheat, peanuts, eggs, or yeast derived ingredients. And it's vegetarian. And it's fucking delicious. It's kind of sour, but it's really good. Because I don't really have a sweet tooth. So when I haven't had anything sweet, which I had some syrup, but I get that shock that makes my eyes wet. Anyway, I feel the vitamins coursing through me. It also helps prevent skin diseases and fungal infections and may be beneficial in treatments for highly infectious diseases. It has also been used to lessen fever and reduce inflammation, and is an excellent stone of protection for caregivers and medical workers. Wow. And that's from Melody, Yisun, and Asiana. Pyrite increases oxygen supply to the blood and strengthens the respiratory and circulatory systems. It is beneficial to the lungs, helping to alleviate asthma and bronchitis, and may be used in treating blood disorders. It assists in treatments of the bones, both in structure and cell formation, and helps prevent and repair DNA damage. Damn, bro. Pyrite also stimulates proper endocrine function and is excellent for combating male impotence and infertility. Interesting. Pyrite is a crystal of positive energy and is extremely helpful for melancholy and thoughts fixed on misfortune and despair. It relieves anxiety and frustration, and as a mirror to the self, reveals the causes behind these emotions and promotes a search for solutions. Pyrite also allows one to see beyond pretense to what truly lies behind words and actions. It provides the insight that often things that disturb us in others are also present in us. Pyrite's energy is empowering to the spirit, encouraging one to overcome fears and take action. It increases one's will to accomplish whatever tasks one sets out to do, and can be used to bring out one's shell, becoming more dynamic and confident. Pyrite, chakra healing and balancing energy. Moving on to the next page. Pyrite is particularly stimulating to the third or solar plexus chakra. Oh, okay, the third, I was going to say third eye, but no, it's the third, the solar plexus, the yellow one. The energy distribution center and the chakra of relationships. This chakra is located between the rib cage and the navel and controls the immune and digestive systems. When balanced physically, we have strength to fight infections, are free of allergic reactions, and are able to use the nutrients we ingest. When the solar plexus is out of balance spiritually, we feel fear of the disappointment or displeasure of others, or to subordinating our life and pleasure to the will of others. Spiritually, when the solar plexus is in balance, we are free to interpret the world through our own thoughts and emotions and not live in fear of violating the dictums of others. Golden pyrite also identifies with the sacral chakra, or the second chakra, located below the navel, above the pubic bone at the front of the pelvis. It controls the flow of energy and is the center of gravity of the body. It is the center of the life force of the body, and controls the flow of information from the body to the mind and from the mind to the body. Gut feelings, intuition, and other non-linear communication comes from the chakra. When it comes out of balance, the symptoms manifest themselves as confusion, overdependency on others, repression of feelings, inability to feel joy, fear of sensuality or sex, and frustration. When the sacral chakra is in balance, one has grace, feels pleasure in life, and experiences the flexibility to go with the flow and do so in good spirit. Pyrite spiritual energy. Pyrite is an excellent stone of manifestation, allowing one to draw high frequency energy into the physical body and utilizing it to take action in creating abundance for one's life. Its frequency stimulates the creative flow of ideas and concepts and helps one embrace their innate abilities and potential. Pyrite can also be used in body layouts for balancing polarities, and creating harmony within the aura. It should be placed on the third chakra in the hands and at the base chakra to anchor one's auric field firmly in the body, in proper alignment for optimal functioning of the spiritual self in the physical world. Its color energy, it reflects the energy of gold, bringing success, enthusiasm, happiness, and power. It is traditionally the color of kings, riches, and the sun. Gold touches a deep part of our minds, conjuring up images of mystical places and adventure. Light gold crystals provide us with the simple pleasures of life, cheerfulness and contentment. Dark gold crystals have a deeper, more pronounced sense of devotion and commitment, providing us with a mature enthusiasm and ability to share a lifelong commitment of care and love. Yeah. Shout out to Pyrite. Feeling super tight. Feeling super tight. All right. Now next, I'm going to put on a song as we proceed. Well, when I learned about her, it was mentioned in that article, and I read it, that Olive Oatman was famous for being the first woman that was tattooed by a Native American. And I knew about her. They have a fictional character version of her called Ava on Hell on Wheels, and she dates and she marries the actor Common on the show. I forgot who does Common play? I haven't seen it in a long time because it's like the main character is Ashton, not Ashton. What's that dude's name? See, I already forgot. But there was Bohannon. He's the main character. But the main character is a guy who also played as Black Bolt, I think, in the Inhumans, and he also played in Star Trek. But my favorite role of him is as a cowboy in Hell on Wheels, and Common is his best friend on there in a few seasons. And she dates him. And so it's kind of based on her, and that's really cool, so I recommend that show. Another badass woman in history from that show that we did was Stagecoach Mary. So anyway, back to Olive Ann Oatman. She was born September 7th, 1837. She died March 21st, 1903, and she got to see the new century. She was a woman born in Illinois. In 1851, while traveling from Illinois to California with the company of Mormon Brewsterites, and they showed the Mormons on the Hell on Wheels. Yo, they were ruthless back in the Wild West. They were ready to fight with the American government, with soldiers back then, you know what I'm saying? To have their right, to do whatever they were doing in their Mormon thing, multiple wives and shit. The family was attacked by a small group from a Native American tribe. Though Oatman identified them as Apache, they were most likely Tokepayas or Western Yavapai. They clubbed many to death, left her brother Lorenzo for dead. This is not the right beat. That's too celebratory. They left her brother Lorenzo for dead and enslaved Olive and her younger sister Mary Ann. The two were captive for 1 year and then traded to the Mojave people. While Lorenzo exhaustively attempted to recruit governmental help in searching for them, Mary Ann died from starvation and Olive spent 4 years with the Mojave. Damn. 5 years after the attack, she was repatriated into American society. The story of the Oatman massacre began to be retold with dramatic license in the press. They over-exaggerated. As well as in her own memoir and speeches. Novels, plays, movies, and poetry were inspired, which resonated in the media of the time and long afterwards. She became an oddity in 1860s America, partly owing to the prominent blue tattooing of her face by the Mojave, making her the first known white woman with native tattoo on record. Much of what actually occurred during her time with the Native Americans remains unknown. The town of Oatman, Arizona is named after the Oatman family and the massacre that occurred therein. Born into the family of Mary Ann and Royce Oatman, Olive Oatman was one of 7 siblings. She grew up in the Mormon religion. She was the oldest. In 1850, the Oatman family joined a wagon train led by James C. Brewster, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, whose attacks on and disagreements with the church leadership in Salt Lake City, Utah, had caused him to break with the followers of Brigham Young, which they show him on Hell on Wheels too, in Utah, and led his followers, Brewsterites, to California. which he claimed was the intended place of gathering for the Mormons. The Brewsterite immigrants, numbering between 85 and 93, departed Independence, Missouri on August 5, 1850. Dissension caused the group to split near Santa Fe in New Mexico territory, with Brewster following the northern route. Royce Oatman and several other families chose the southern route via Socorro and Tucson. Near Socorro, Royce Oatman assumed command of the party. They reached New Mexico in early 1851, only to find the country and climate wholly unsuited to their purpose. The other wagons gradually abandoned the goal of reaching the mouth of the Colorado River. The party had reached Maricopa Wells when they were told that not only was the stretch of trail ahead barren and dangerous, but that the Native Americans ahead were very hostile and that they would risk their lives if they proceeded further. The other families resolved to stay. The Oatman family, eventually, traveling alone, was nearly annihilated in what we said was known as the Oatman Massacre on the banks of the Gila River, about 90 miles east of Yuma in what is now Arizona. So, and the mom was pregnant with the 8th child. Lucy Oatman was the oldest. On their 4th day out from the wells, they were approached by a group of Native Americans who were asking for tobacco and food. Due to the lack of supplies, Royce Oatman was hesitant to share too much with the small party of what we assume is Yavapais. They became irate at his stinginess. During the encounter, the Yavapai attacked the Oatman family. The Yavapai clubbed the family to death. All were killed except for, like we said, the 3 kids. Lorenzo, he was 15. Olive, who was 14, and Marianne, who was 7. Lorenzo, they left him for dead. They thought he was going to die. Olive and Anne were taken to be slaves. After the attack, Lorenzo awoke to find his parents and siblings dead, but he saw no sign of little Mary and Anne and Olive. Lorenzo attempted the hazardous trek to find help. He eventually reached a settlement where his wounds were treated. Lorenzo, rejoining the immigrant train, and 3 days later returned on the bodies of his slain family. In a detailed retelling which was reprinted in newspapers over the decades, he said, "We buried the bodies of father, mother, and babe in one common grave. The men had no way of digging proper graves in the volcanic rocky soil. So they gathered the bodies together and formed a cairn over them." That's how I buried the rabbit out there, because it was like hard to dig. So basically I dug like a half-ass little grave, and I put the dead rabbit, and I just tried to put dirt and shit on top of it. But then, like, I don't know what, something kept trying to eat it, because I had to keep reburying it. It has been said that the remains were reburied several times, like I did with the rabbit, and finally moved to the river for reinterment by early Arizona colonizer Charles Pospin. Lorenzo Oatman became determined to never give up the search for his only surviving siblings. Yeah, man, I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, I guess in that time he might not have, but I probably would have been looking, I think. After the attack, the Native Americans took some of the Oatman family's belongings, along with Olive and Marianne. Although Olive Oatman later identified her captors as members of the Tonto Apache tribe, they were partly part of the Tocopaya, like we said, or the Yavapai. They lived in a village 8 miles southwest of Aguila, Arizona, in the Harquahala Mountains. After arriving at the village, the girls were initially treated in a way that appeared threatening, and Oatman later said she thought they would be killed. However, the girls were used as slaves to forage for food, to lug water and firewood, and other menial tasks, and they were frequently beaten. During the girls' stay with the Yavapai, another group of Native Americans came to trade with the tribe. This group was made up of Mojave Native Americans. The daughter of the Mojave chief, Españole, saw the girls and the poor treatment during the trading expedition. She tried to make a trade for the girls. The Yavapai refused, but the chief's daughter, Topeka, was persistent and returned once more, offering to trade for the girls. Eventually, the Yavapai gave in and traded the girls for 2 horses, some veggies, blankets, and beads. After being taken into Mojave custody, the girls walked for days to a Mojave village along the Colorado River in the center of what is today Needles, California. They were immediately taken by the family of a tribal leader whose non-Mojave name was Españole. The Mojave tribe was more prosperous than the group that had held the girls captive. And Españole's wife, Espanillo, and daughter, Topica, took an interest in the Oatman girls' welfare. Oatman expressed her deep affection for these two women numerous times over the years after her captivity. Damn, my foot's asleep. Let's see. She arranged for the girls to be given plots of land to farm. A Mojave tribesman said in an interview that Olive was most likely fully adopted into the tribe because she was given a Mojave nickname, something only presented to those who have fully assimilated into the tribe. What's up, Blue Jay? Olive herself would rather claimed that she and Marianne were held captive by the Mojave and that she feared to leave, but this statement could have been colored by the Reverend Royal B. Stratton, who sponsored the publication of Olive's captivity narratives shortly after her return to white society. For example, Olive did not attempt to contact the large group of whites that visited the Mojaves during her period with them. And years later, she went to meet with the Mojave leader in New York City and spoke with him of old times. Anthropologist A.L. Kroger wrote in an article that the Mojaves always told her she could go to the white settlements when she pleased, but they dared not go with her, fearing they might be punished for having kept the white woman so long among them. Nor did they dare let it be known that she was among them. So she was given a chance, but she didn't want to go. Another thing that suggests Olive and Marianne were not held in forced captivity by the Mojave is that both girls were tattooed on their chins and arms, in keeping with the tribal custom. Oatman later claimed in Stratton's book and in her lectures that she was tattooed to mark her as a slave. But that is not consistent with the Mojave tradition, where such marks were given only to their own people to ensure that they would enter the land of the dead and be recognized there by their ancestors as members of the Mojave tribe. The tribe did not care if their slaves could reach the land of the dead, however, so they did not tattoo them. It has also been suggested that the evenness of Olive's facial markings may indicate her compliance with the procedure. Well, yeah, I mean, damn, I bet it hurt like a bitch, though. Olive Oatman, 1860s, on her lecture notes, tell of her younger sister often yearning to join that better world where their father and mother had gone. Marianne died of starvation while the girls were living with the Mojave. This happened about 55 to 56 when Marianne was 10 or 11. It has been claimed there was a drought in the region and that the tribe experienced a dire shortage of food supplies. And Olive herself would have died had not Espano, the matriarch of the tribe, saved her life by making a gruel to sustain her. Olive later spoke with fondness of the Mojaves, who she said treated her better than her first captors. She most likely considered herself assimilated. She was given a clan name, Oak, and a nickname, Spansa, a Mojave word having to do with the unquenchable lust or thirst. And she chose not to reveal herself to white railroad surveyors who spent nearly a week in the Mojave Valley trading and socializing with the tribe in 1854. Because she did not know that Lorenzo had survived the massacre, she believed she had no immediate family and that the Mojave treated her as one of their own. So she was in survival mode, man. She didn't know if her brother was still alive or if anybody was still alive. Wait. Damn, we're already at an hour. All right. We're almost done. So when she was 19, Francisco, a Yuma Indian messenger, arrived at the village with a message from the authorities at Fort Yuma. Rumors suggested that a white girl was living with the Mojaves. And the post commander, just like now, people be talking shit, spreading rumors. And the post commander requested her return, or to know the reason why she did not choose to return. The Mojaves initially sequestered Olive and resisted the request. At first, they denied that Olive was even white. Of course, over the course of negotiation, some expressed their affections for Olive, others their fear of reprisal from whites. The messenger Francisco, meanwhile, withdrew to the homes of other nearby Mojaves. Shortly thereafter, he made a second fervent attempt to persuade the Mojaves to part with Olive. Trade items were included this time, including blankets and a white horse, and he passed on threats that the whites would destroy the Mojaves if they did not release Olive. After some discussion, in which Olive was this time included, the Mojaves decided to accept these terms, and Olive was escorted to Fort Yuma in a 20-day journey. They really didn't have a choice now. Topeka, the daughter of Española and Espaneo, went on the journey with her. Before entering the fort, Olive was given Western clothing lent by the wife of an army officer, as she was clad in a traditional Mojave skirt with no covering above her waist. Inside the fort, Olive was surrounded by cheering people. Olive's childhood friend Susan Thompson, whom she befriended again at this time, stated many years later that she believed Olive was grieving upon her return because she had been married to a Mojave man and had given birth to 2 boys. She didn't want to leave. Olive denied rumors during her lifetime that she had either been married to a Mojave or had been sexually mistreated by the Yavapai or Mojave. In that reverend's book, she declared that to the honor of these savages, let it be said they never offered the least unchaste abuse to me. However, her nickname, Spansa, may have meant rotten womb, and implied that she was sexually active, although historians have argued the name could have different meanings. Who cares if she was sexually active, man? Within a few days of her arrival at the fort, Olive discovered that her brother Lorenzo was alive and had been looking for her and Marianne. Their meeting made headline news across the West. That's dope. So in 1857, like we said, a pastor named Royal B. Stratton sought out Olive and Lorenzo Oatman. He co-wrote a book about the massacre and their captivity among the Indians. It was a bestseller for the era at 30,000 copies. Stratton used royalties from the book to pay for Olive and her brother to attend the University of the Pacific. Olive and Lorenzo accompanied Stratton across the country on a book tour, promoting the book, and they go into this a little bit on the Hell on Wheels. Olive was a curiosity. Her boldly tattooed chin was on display, and people came to hear her story and witness the blue tattoo for themselves. She was the first known tattooed American woman, as well as one of the first female public speakers. Whoa, I didn't even know. One of the first few female public speakers. She entered the lecture circuit as feminism was developing. Though she herself never claimed to be part of the movement, her story entered the American consciousness shortly after the Seneca Falls Convention. In November of 1865, she married a cattleman named John B. Fairchild. They met at a lecture that she was giving in Michigan, along the pastor Stratton. Fairchild had lost his brother to an attack by Native Americans during a cattle drive in Arizona in 1854, the time in which Oatman was living among the Mojave. Stratton did not receive an invitation to the wedding, and Olive never reached out to him again. Though it was rumored that Olive died in a mental asylum in New York State in 1877, it was possibly Stratton who became institutionalized after the development of hereditary insanity and died shortly after. Yeah, it was probably Stratton. Olive and John Fairchild moved to Sherman, Texas, a boomtown. Shout out to Texas. A boomtown ripe for a businessman like Fairchild to start a new and prosperous life. Fairchild founded the City Bank of Sherman, and together they lived quietly in a large Victorian mansion. Olive began to wear a veil to cover her famous tattoo and became involved in charity work. She was particularly interested in helping a local orphanage. She and Fairchild never had kids of their own, but they did adopt a little girl and named her Mary Elizabeth after each of their moms, and nicknamed her Mammy. Her husband went on to track down copies of Stratton's book and burn them. So, death and legacy. Her brother Lorenzo died on October 8th, 1901. She outlived him by less than 2 years. Olive Oatman Fairchild died of a heart attack on March 20th, 1903, at the age of 65. She is buried at the West Hill Cemetery in Sherman, Texas. kind of want to go. The town of Oatman, Arizona, named for her family, was once a bustling mining and gambling town that turned into a ghost town. It was part of the Oatman Gold District, and it is now a tourist stop. Did it?